Hi, everyone, I'm Dan Abrams, and this is Court Case.
Ready to take your place?
Yeah! I'll kill all you. I hope you die in person as well.
First up, we go to Jefferson County Circuit Court in Louisville, Kentucky. The defendant is Christopher Bacanskis, who's charged with wanton endangerment. Today, he's scheduled to appear before Judge Judith McDonald Berkman, who is currently occupied with another defendant. But Bacanskis wants to see the judge now.
My brother needs me out there.
As Bacanskis is cuffed, a bailiff who just arrived from another courtroom has one question. That's Bacanskis, all 6'4", 260 pounds, with his arms around a deputy's neck. Bacanskis was in a holding cell when the deputy opened it for another defendant. That's when Bacanskis comes charging. A second deputy comes over to help, but the defendant quickly moves the pile to the gallery as the spectators flee. That is, except for this guy, who doesn't appear to be going anywhere. As more help arrives, Bacanskis lets out a scream. And the reason for his attempted escape?
My brother needs me out there.
The officers also get some help from an agile attorney, Josh Schneider. That's him in the suit. He grabs the defendant's arm after Bacanskis reaches for what Schneider believes is the officer's gun. It turns out to be a taser, which Bacanskis is unable to get a hold of. Eventually, even more officers arrive, and the defendants return to the holding area. No one is hurt, and Bacanskis is later charged with escape, assault, menacing, and criminal mischief. 2 years later, he's convicted of the escape and assault charge and sentenced to 8 years in a Kentucky prison. Now, for the sentencing of 45-year-old William Denby Jr. The former Lorain County Corrections officer was found guilty on 2 counts of felonious assault and 2 counts of murder after he violently attacked his wife during an argument. After a physical struggle between the couple, 33-year-old Holly Denby made her way to a second-story bathroom, where her husband stabbed her in the abdomen as she tried to climb out the window. After falling to the ground, William Denby then walked out of the house and killed Holly, stabbing her repeatedly, cutting her throat twice.
Sheriff's Office, Officer St. Judd, may I help you?
On the other end of the line, it's William Denby calling in to the same sheriff's office he works for.
Yeah, who is this Denby? Who is this?
Oh, Denby, this is Joy.
Why?
They got a fight?
More like almost a beheading, yeah.
A beheading?
Yeah, I killed her.
Who did you kill, Denby?
My wife. My ex-wife.
During the nearly 6-minute call, Denby's cooperative and remains unnervingly calm.
I'm not armed. I have no weapons on me.
Who else is there with you, Denby?
Just me and my dog. Just take good care of my dog.
There's no kids any there with you, Denby?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
If I put you on hold, will you not hang up? Will you stay there, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, don't hang up. I still have you in an ambulance out there, okay? Don't hang up, Denby. Okay.
I'm waiting for the kitchen.
How can I help you?
Hey, 911, I need an ambulance out. I had a guy in line who says he just beheaded his wife.
Okay.
God, it's actually, sorry, it's one of our COs. I know him personally. Kind of, he's saying his wife's in the backyard and he beheaded her.
Okay.
Upon sentencing, the victim's mother, Cheryl Folds,
Your Honor,
shares her victim impact statement with the court.
Holly was taken from her son and our family and friends because of one man's violent acts. Holly was held against her will. She was battered, and when she found an opportunity to escape, she did. She was pursued by her husband, who intended to kill her.
Given the chance to speak, William Denby begins with a matter-of-fact explanation of the case.
Most of you know my name is William Denby, and on August 11, 2010, I killed my wife Holly. I was found guilty of murder on December 3rd, 2013, and I'm here today to receive my sentence. I have so much to say, but unfortunately most of it will not be said today, so one day it will all come out.
Then, for nearly 45 minutes, Denby recounts his relationship with his wife, before accusing his mother-in-law of improper care of the couple's 7-year-old son, who she has custody of.
Shame on you, Cheryl.
That is enough.
I don't know.
That is enough,
Mr. Denby, once again, you speak to me about your relationship, if you wish, between you and Holly Denby. I'm not interested in your position with regard to her members of her family.
You know what? I've had enough. You cut her throats twice. You stabbed her 8 times. You cold-blooded killer. I've had enough of
As Denby tries to take a dig at his mother-in-law over the care of his son,
Shame on you, Cheryl.
he's shut down by the prosecuting attorney and the judge. At the same time, from the gallery, the victim's uncle has had enough.
You cut her throats twice. You stabbed her 8 times.
Off camera, he tries to charge toward Denby, but is restrained by family members.
You cold-blooded killer. I've had enough of
William Denby was ultimately sentenced to 20 years to life for the brutal murder of his wife. A later appeal of the case was denied. Next, we take you inside the Madison County Courthouse in Marshall, North Carolina.
It is.
The person behind the camera identifies himself as DJ Gear. He's not a defendant, just someone looking to record some courthouse video for his online channel that tests the right to record in public places, like police departments and courthouses. But the security officer, Jim Cruzan, has a problem with Gear and his camera.
Sir? You can't have the camera in there. I can't have it in the courtroom. I don't plan on going in the courtroom.
Gear hears the officer, but shows no sign of stopping.
Where are you going? Just walking around the courthouse. Not the camera. It can. I said no. But it can. That's a legal thing, not a personal thing. I'm not going to argue with you. I don't want to argue with you, brother. I can film. You're not going to film today. But I can. You can, but you're not going to today.
A second officer decides to take this request up the ladder.
Just wait here.
I will. I will. Okay, that's fine.
While she's gone, it allows Gear and Cruzan some time to debate the issue.
Why are you saying I can't film? We've got children here today. But they're in public. This is public. Please don't touch me. That's an assault, okay? Give it to me. I tell you what, I'm gonna step out here. Yo, you put your hands on me, that's an assault. I don't want that to happen, okay? Because if you put your hands on me, that's an assault. I'm not calling a supervisor. I'm in charge here right now. Can I have a supervisor, please? I don't want to be arguing. You can go up to the sheriff's office. You can talk to the sheriff. I just want to start. That's all you want to do. Why are you cursing at me, brother? I'm not cursing at you. I said all you want to do is start. That's all you want. I just want to be understood. Oh, I understood. I just want to be understood. Is it wrong to ask for understanding? Put it on videos. I don't care. I don't. You're not going to go in here and bother people. I'm just going to interrupt this court. I'm just going to wait for the clerk of court, okay? I said you're not going to interrupt this court. Now you can go outside now. Here comes the clerk of court. Go. I'm waiting on the court like I was supposed to. I said you're not going to disturb this court.
The other officer, who happens to be Officer Cruzan's wife, returns. She's with Mark Cody, the court clerk, who has some answers.
Just wait a second. Mark's going to explain it to him.
Thank you. I just need you to call someone for my safety. He put his hands on me. He told me that this cell phone was... He's the one that goes around making videos.
Just hush. Jim, shut up.
You shut your... Yes, sir.
Cody makes the decision to pull Gear away from the situation.
You shut your mouth.
Let me you stay back.
Yes, sir. I don't mind talking to you at all. Thank you for coming out and talking to me. But this officer here is way out of line.
Let me tell you,
Way out of line. And I want someone called on this idiot because he put his hands on me.
As Cody explains the ground rules to Gear, Cruzan makes his way over.
They explain to you, brother. Your brother?
Cruzan then fires off some tobacco juice in Gear's direction.
you step back here. Let me tell you about that, okay?
Tell you something. What? Oh, boy, man. Okay.
In this situation, Gear will turn out to be correct. He is allowed to shoot on government property, as long as he's not inside the courtroom.
Sir, you're right in here is a public area. He's welcome as long as he's not disturbing anybody, disturbing the peace.
I don't need your permission. I'm only going to tell you one more time. I don't need your permission.
He is the security.
Security, but he's not above the Constitution.
Once Gear makes it through security,
You messed up, dummy.
he just records a few minutes of generic video in the courthouse hallway. On the way out, he has a few more words for Cruzan.
It's a man you gave your professionalism, all right? You're finna be unemployed.
Gear's prediction would also come true. After he filed a complaint to the sheriff's office, Cruzan was fired from his job. According to Cruzan, he was told he was fired for using foul language and because of allegations of civil rights violations made by Gear. The Madison County Sheriff's Department had no official. Later, Cruzan announces he's running for sheriff of Madison County. The election will take place in November of 2022. Next, we're in Williamsburg, Kentucky for a bond revocation hearing. The defendant walking up to the podium is 42-year-old Shannon Fox Hamblin. Today, she's in court for allegedly violating conditions of her probation. Once at the microphone, she lets Judge Paul Winchester know she's being represented by a well-known name, maybe best known for his pro bono work.
And who's representing you today?
I'm represented by Jesus Christ.
That's right. Now, a savior he may be, but one thing he is not is a licensed member of the Kentucky State Bar. So the judge offers up the services of the public defender's office instead.
So I'm going to appoint Mr. Findale
No,
to
I
represent
don't
you
want
today.
Mr. Findale. I have that right, Your Honor. Jesus is going to represent through me. I do not want legal counsel.
Okay, all right. So what do you want to say?
I want to say that I have lived hard, loved hard, played hard, but I've been saved and applied the blood. I'm pardoned through Jesus Christ, okay? I have stumbled and I have failed many times, and mercy's rained from that bench. Not because I deserved it, but because I'm sure somebody prayed. Okay, I want you to taste salvation and play here too. I was riding the fence between me and you. God gave me a choice, and it's life or death. I kid you not. Do I look like the person that stood before you in August? Do I? I'm humble. I'm in a walk of shame.
But alas, Judge Winchester has had enough of the courtroom sermon.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Allegation is you failed to report to probation and parole.
Okay, sir. I have nothing in this world.
All I need is an answer.
No.
Did you go? Okay.
I went to probation, yes, I did. But the next 2 times I didn't have no right.
In addition to not reporting to her probation officer as scheduled, Fox Hamblin has another violation.
On December the 9th, 2016, you were given a drug test and you were positive for methamphetamine. And that was confirmed by a lab.
Saved by the blood.
Okay, yes or no? Do you acknowledge that?
I acknowledge I'm saved by the blood.
Saved by the blood or exposed by the blood test?
I don't use drugs, Your Honor.
I
I do
understand
not
that.
use it.
You've already told me that. But back on December of 2016,
His paper says so, but I will not admit it. He said I could...
are you denying the allegations in this motion?
Yes.
Fox Hamblin's probation officer is then called on to offer testimony.
Back in December, did she test positive for drug use? She did.
He's not telling the whole truth, Your Honor.
Okay.
You expect me to, he needs to too.
Hey, let me tell you something now. You can ask him a question.
Okay,
You
have I
can't
not
preach
been
to
told?
it.
When you called me and said the drug test came back methamphetamine, tell the truth, Sharon. What did I say?
I did not call you.
Right, because you are a liar in the court of Williamsburg. I promise you, Jesus is watching.
Okay, let me tell you something. I have to go by what the lab says.
Can I make
Doesn't
one
have anything to do with what he said.
Between me and you.
Okay.
Prison is to reform me, right? To make me a good person for
Well,
society. Is
that
that
to keep
correct?
you from breaking the law.
Okay. Well, do you believe that the blood applied by Jesus Christ can do more reform for me than Pee Wee Valley? Do you believe it can happen in 1 day, 1 minute, or 1 hour?
Well,
Sir, I'm sentenced to death. I'm going to die.
But as the defendant continues to argue, the The judge asked the bailiff to escort her out and revokes her bond.
Mr. Engel, can you take her for me, please? Motion is sustained.
Sir, no, I have the right to speak, okay?
And you have the right to speak.
I will speak, please. No, I will speak to this judge. No, I'll speak to you right now. My wife is a mistake. I'll die in prison.
Come on,
I have to fight you. I won't die. You shoot me.
As it becomes more apparent that she is not going quietly,
If you stand up and handle, I won't go. No, I won't.
another court official enters to help remove her.
No, I won't go. But stand up. No. Mr. Winchester, I won't go. No. I won't go. You understand? You'll shoot me before I go. I won't go.
You need to go. You don't
No, I'm not.
That's it, you okay?
You said I won't.
Accept.
You see truth and you deny it. No, Mr. Winchester, please. I want my family back. I'm changed. No, they need these places and they hate little house. Please.
As the struggle spills into the hallway, Fox Hamlin continues to resist, reportedly kicking one of the bailiffs and causing an injury to his hand. On top of having her bond revoked, Shannon Fox Hamlin was charged with contempt of court, second-degree assault, resisting arrest, and second-degree disorderly conduct. She was sentenced to 8 years in a Kentucky prison. Next, we're at the S.J. Foxman Justice Center in Daytona Beach, Florida. 29-year-old Gregory Gentle's there on a resisting arrest with violence charge after he claimed police tackled him to the ground in front of his home 2 years earlier. After falling asleep inside of the courtroom, Gentle was asked to step out into the hallway. When Deputy Roger Hubble opens the door to call the defendant back in for his case, Gentle walks over and, in a not-so-gentle way, punches Hubble in the face. After clocking Deputy Hubble in the doorway, Gentle then puts him in a bear hug and the two engage in a full-on fight. Gentle then slams Hubble into the wall due to his prior encounter with law enforcement. Hubble is struggling with the inmate, but luckily other deputies arrive to assist. Then Gentle is subdued. Hubble was taken to the hospital for treatment for a broken thumb, a cut lip, and a fractured jawbone, which resulted in some missing teeth. Gentle was booked and later found guilty at trial for aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer, a first-degree felony and sentenced to the maximum of 30 years in prison because he's a repeat offender. As for the initial resisting arrest charge, he was found not guilty. That's it for this edition of Court Cam. I'm Dan Abrams. Thanks for watching.